Mommy. Okay. Bस ठीक है.
you ever get confused, then just turn towards the alcohol. You'll still hear thoughts, then just turn up the radio as you learn to live a lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But in all honesty, I just need to know, is there more to the cycle than growing and getting old? Living and dying just to leave behind a happy home and a whole lot of property that somebody else is going to own. I just really need to know before the casket's closed, cause I'm not willing to gamble with my soul, nor am I ready to take any chances. These are just simple life questions and I'm just searching for some answers. Like, what are we doing here? And what is our purpose? How did we get here? And who made us so perfect? And what happens once we go? Or is this world all really worth it? Questions we don't answer because apparently we don't really have to. There's no purpose to this life and our existence is merely natural. Then in that case, please let me ask you, did you create yourself or was it somebody else who had fashioned you? Cause you're a being that's impeccable, faultless and unparalleled. You're a product of supreme intelligence and I'm merely being rational. For there isn't a camera on this earth that can come close to the human eye, nor a computer that can compete alongside the human mind. And if the whole world was to come together, we wouldn't be able to create a single fly. So many signs, yet we still deny. As science tries to justify that all this could come from none, when it's a simple sum. 0 plus 0 plus 0 cannot possibly ever give you 1. So from where did all this order come? But everything has its origins, a maker, a creator of its own. I mean, the only reason you're watching this video is because somebody had to press upload. So we can believe in the Big Bang, but I'd rather believe in He who caused it to explode. Allah, the creator of everything along with every single soul. The ever-living, the master, the only one who is in control. Unlike his creation, beyond our imagination, and no, he's not a man nor to be any causeless association. He's on his own, and no, he did not ever leave us alone. Just like every manufacturer, he left us with an instruction manual. The Quran and Islam, and I'm sorry to jump to conclusions, but it's the only one possible. The only definition of God is the one and only supreme being. It's logical. A book with 0 contradictions, with miracles that are both scientific and historical, all revealed over 1,400 years ago. Like the detailed description of the human embryo.
The descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century.
To the mountains its pegs holding firm the earth below, and the 2 seas that don't mix in a complete separate flow. To the planets in orbit, alternating night and day as they stay in flow. The expansion of the universe and the creation of everything from H2O. To the stories of the past and the preservation of Pharaoh. To identifying the lowest point in the land where Persia defeated Rome. The gushing fluid that created man in the glands between the ribs and the backbone. And not a word has changed, it's still the same. So please explain how all this was known over 1,400 years ago. To a man who couldn't read or write as he would recite whatever the angel spoke. And if you still don't believe, please try to come up with something that's even close. But you can't, so we took God as a mockery and his messengers as a joke.
Muhammad could not read or write. How's somebody who can't read or write gonna start a religion?
Dismiss these scriptures as legends and tales of the ancient folk as we live life according to our whims, desires, and hopes. Saying this life is the only home we will ever know. We will live and die and simply turn to bones. Yo, low. Correction. After the grass dies, the rain arrives and it regrows. And Allah promises to do the same thing to your very soul. And bring you back from your very fingertips to your toes. as the all-seeing supreme being watches us so close, and we are surely being tested in our wealth, our health, and our self, and everything that we've been blessed with. So believe, for we will surely be resurrected and be brought back to our Lord and account for every single deed as He hands us our books and orders us to read. From the bad to the good and everything in between. You yourself are sufficient for your own accountability, so don't be mad at me. You were the one who thought He wouldn't come back to me. I gave you a whole life long to search after me, but you were busy in all that which was temporary, so read. And glad tidings to all those who believed, and if you disbelieve, read. And don't let that day be the first day you find out what your life really means. Read.
Read Quran.
My dear respected Muslim brothers and non-Muslim guests, I'm very grateful to be here tonight, and I'm feeling very honored to have this opportunity to address you on this critical topic. And I want to make sure that you understand that this is not really a lecture. I'm not prepared to lecture on this particular topic as if I have some special credentials to speak about the purpose of life. Actually, it's a sort of advice. An advice even to myself. Because I can see myself sitting where you're sitting. A few years ago, it seems almost like a few days ago, a non-Muslim, in particular a Christian, a human being, the ethnicity or the nationality, it doesn't really matter. But an individual, a person who at that particular time exactly could not answer what is the purpose of life. Now I realize that in order for me to deliver this information to you, it will take some of your precious, critical time. And no one has even a minute of life to waste. With that note, I would request you, all of you, to think of what I'm saying to you as information and advice. Now, this information may seem to be somewhat extensive, but when you consider the capacity of the human brain, the amount of information that it can store, the amount of information that it is able to process and decipher, then I don't think that the information that I'm going to share with you tonight will necessarily overburden you. Now, it is my responsibility to address the topic, what is the purpose of our life? And also to ask you the question, what do you know about Islam? I mean, what do you really know about Islam? Not what you read in the newspapers, not what you saw on television that was prepared for you, not the preconditioned information that came from people who had their own prejudices and their own limited views. But what do you really know about Islam? What facts do you really have about Islam and Muslims? Not necessarily even what have you seen in the action of some Muslims whom you may know. For that may not be.
Hidden in appalling conditions, more than 70 donkeys were found.
For that may not be an accurate reference either. As I mentioned, I am extremely honored to have this opportunity to be here in Sydney, Australia, in the land down under, if that's what you call it. And I would like to begin by saying that all of you have an equal responsibility with myself. And the responsibility that you have is to listen with an open heart and an open mind. Now, in a world filled with prejudice and cultural conditioning, it is extremely hard to find people that are willing to be objective for a moment and put aside their preconditioning and to think for a moment, if you dare, what is the purpose of your life? Now, what I mean by open heart and open mind is very simple. And you can try this when you get home. It's no tricks to it. Turn a glass upside down and see if you can pour yourself a glass of water. You can pour all day. You'll never fill the glass. The mind and the heart are receptacles for information and values. Minimally, unfortunately, when you ask most people the question, what is the purpose of life? Such an important question, such a critical question. They will not tell you what they have concluded from life experience. They won't tell you what they have obtained through reasoning or logic. They won't tell you what they have from their own self-conviction. Usually, if you ask this question, they'll tell you what someone else said. Or they'll tell you what is commonly presumed by most people. What my father said the purpose of life is. What my mother said the purpose of life is. What the minister of my church said the purpose of life is. What my teacher or my professor in school said what the purpose of life is. What my friend said. If I ask anyone about the purpose of eating, why do we eat? Everyone will say in one way or another, we eat for nutrition. Very simple. If I ask anybody, why do they work? They say, I work because I have to support myself and my family in an honorable way. A simple answer to a simple question. If we ask a series of questions like that, why do we wash? Why do we dress? They will answer all of these questions by saying, this is very simple. This is a common necessity for all human beings. And if you ask this question to 100 people in 100 different places in the world, you will get just about the same answers. Then I ask you to ask yourself, why is it that when we ask the simple question, what is the purpose of our lives? Why do we get so many different answers? It is because people haven't really thought about it. It's too frightening. Not the question itself is frightening, but what's frightening is that if we answer it clearly, it may change our lives indelibly, and we are afraid of change. The human being innately is afraid and apprehensive of change. This is why it's so easy just to follow, to imitate blindly, because then you don't have to feel like you're responsible. You can blame somebody else. You can blame somebody else. Well, think about it tonight. Is our purpose in this world simply to eat and sleep and dress and work and acquire some material things and enjoy ourselves? Well, the hedonists, they will tell you, that is the pleasure seekers, the worldly people who only want to enjoy themselves, who are only concerned about taste and touch and feel and smell and have and possess. Those people who think they have the world in their hands, or that the world is in a cup of brandy, they will tell you that life is only for enjoyment, so enjoy all that you can. Is this our purpose? Why are we born? What is the object of our existence? And what is the wisdom behind the creation of man and this tremendous universe? Think about that question. Think about it seriously. Now, some people will argue that there's simply no proof of any divine origin of this world. And there's no proof that there's a God. And there's no proof that this universe has come about through any divine purpose. There are those who argue that. And some of them, they occupy some of the higher places in academia, in government. Some of them occupy some of the elite positions in society and in our lives. Some of them are called central personalities, but they themselves are confused. They also have their own frustrations. And I'd like to share a statistic with you. The greatest amount of misery, the greatest amount of suicide, the greatest amount of confusion and disparagement exists among that class of people. So evidently, even they don't have the answers. Now, there are people who argue this way, and they say that perhaps this world came about by chance. That means random. That's what chance means, random. like going to the gambling house. You call it here the gaming rooms. They have a nice name for it here. It's a place of immorality. It's a place where you put your life savings on the line. You're trying to get something for nothing. You put your hard-earned money. Sometimes the man doesn't tell his wife, or the wife doesn't tell her husband, and they lose their house and their lives, taking a chance, trying to earn something for nothing. And the government has set it up and supported it with your tax dollars. And you're so foolish that you think that after you gamble for 5 years and you've lost $50,000 or $60,000, that if you win $25,000, you get real happy. So thinking that this world came about by chance is the same as thinking that when you put money in a slot machine, that the numbers come up by chance. They don't. Everybody knows that the casinos are rigged and only the house wins all the time. But to think that this world came about in the same way that people gamble, random choice, well, let's put that to a test. This is an example that you can do in your home with your children. Take 10 marbles, number them 1 to 10, and put them inside of a bag and shake the bag. And then close your eyes without looking inside that bag. Pull out number 1. Pull out marble number 2. Pull out marble number 3. In that order. Just 10 marbles, that's all. 5, 10. What do you think the chances are pulling out those 10 marbles in that order without looking at them? Is anybody here that's a mathematic genius, knows about calculus, knows the random chance? Does anybody know the chance? 26 million to 1. That's only 10 marbles. That's called a micro example. Now let's go a little bit further out to a macro example. The Earth that we are on is one planet among 9, or some people say 11, in our or some people say 11 in our solar system, isn't it? And our sun that gives energy and light and gravity is the center of our solar system. And our sun is only one star, and it happens to be one of the smaller stars in our galaxy called the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is only one of the smaller galaxies in the nebula called the Andromeda. And the Andromeda has itself millions of galaxies like the one that our sun is a part of. And there are millions, or literally countless galaxies, clusters of galaxies like the Andromeda that have been predicted by sending out sound and light. And they have sent out sound and light that has never returned. Now all of this diverse order that we see in the heavens, that we're able to somewhat calculate and predict, that we call night and day, time, all of this is in order that allows us to calculate. Tell me, if you can't pull out 10 marbles in order, how did all of this come in order? Evidently, man didn't do it because man is only a drop of water on the earth. Significantly nothing. You can't even see him if you get a certain distance. He's he's forgotten about. So I say to you, certainly, this whole great world with all of its great orchestration could not have just come together. And even if we accept the Big Bang Theory, someone had to create that combustion. Because after the bang came about, everything came in order. So order does not come from disorder. You can't get out of your bed in the morning and don't make your bed and come back and your bed is made unless you got a maid. You can't demolish a house and come back and the house came back together unless you got a reconstruction crew. Order doesn't come from disorder. Order comes from an order. An order means a legislation. It means a science. It means a fact. It means a determination. And if man wasn't around when that Big Bang took place, he had nothing to do with that determination or anything after it. Here I would like to mention a few verses of the Quran that address this subject, because the Quran was revealed more than 1,400 years ago, a book of 6,626 verses that has been retained and memorized, preserved since the time that it was revealed more than 1,424 years ago. Memorized in the time of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who received it in his own life, memorized by his companions, and the same Quran is with us today. And among the people sitting here, I'm sure there are 5 or 10 people who have memorized the entire Quran. This is the phenomenon. If Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, never left anything else as a proof of his miracle and his prophethood to the world, it would be the Quran. I asked my brother to recite just a few verses and then I'll translate it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار.
I will only translate 2 or 3 of those verses because this is enough to address this issue that I'm speaking to. This verse says, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار. The Quran says, verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth.
The one place to book any place.
Brothers and sisters, we are establishing a masjid and dawah center in the capital of Norway. If you don't...
Creation of the heavens and the earth. And in the alternation of the night and the day. Surely, this itself is a sign for those who reflect. Those who reflect on the creation of the heavens and the earth, on their Creator, while they are standing, while they are sitting, while they are lying down on their sides, always they are reflecting on the signs of the heavens and the earth. They say, our Lord, our sustainer, not for any vain foolish, random purpose have you created all of this? So save us from the chastisement of the fire. Dear brothers and sisters and guests, this verse of the Quran, these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the heavens and the earth, God Almighty, has mentioned very clearly to us by first drawing our attention to the creation of ourselves. That's first. The different postures of the human body. And because he's the creator and his throne exists over the heavens and the earth, he comes from his throne down, meaning in terms of knowledge befitting his person. So he first speaks about the creation of the heavens and the earth, something that man cannot construe. Then he says, the alternation of the night and the day as it appears to us. Then he speaks about the posture of the human being, standing. You know, we're different when we're standing. Our mind is even different. We have a different demeanor when we're standing. Then he says, while they are sitting, and we have a different demeanor when we're sitting. Psychologists will tell you the human being has different postures according to the posture of the body. So when you're standing, you can be arrogant. When you're standing, you can make proclamations. When you're sitting, usually you're receiving, you're listening, you're a little more humble. When you're lying down on your side, either you're sick, or you're weak, or you're about to sleep. These are the postures of the human psychology. Look how beautiful the verse is. The wise people who fear God, they are thinking of him in all these postures, in all conditions. And they say, "Oh God, surely, not for any vain or random or foolish purpose have you created all of this. Save me from myself. Save me from my vanity. Save me from my foolishness. Save me from my rebellion. Save me from my disbelief. Save me from the chastisement of the fire." Dear brothers and sisters, certainly there's a creator. And certainly that creator deserves to be acknowledged. And certainly that creator deserves to be obeyed. And definitely that creator has no associates or comparisons. For instance, we have to ask ourselves a further question. When you see a bridge, a building, an automobile, you automatically consider the person or the company that designed it. You would never think, when you look at these new cars, this new technology, you would never think that it created itself or it just happened to be there. Let's take something a little more simple. If you were walking out in the outback, that's what you call it here, isn't it? If you were walking in the outback, we call it the desert in America, and you saw a watch, a very expensive watch, maybe like the watch that I'm wearing here, like not expensive but intricate, a world time, 3 or 4 different alarms on it. If you saw a watch laying down on the ground, would you think to yourself that it was always there? No, you would think someone left it there because you know that it is not part of the natural landscape. It's not part of that environment. It has been designed by someone and lost by someone, wouldn't you? This is just a watch. It's not really that intricate. It's not like the human eye. It's not like the sun. It's not like the earth with its different ecosystems. It's not like that. So how could you think that this watch had a designer, but this universe doesn't have a designer? It just came about. When you see a nuclear plant, an orbiting space station, and by the way, Unfortunately, the orbiting space station that you can look up at...
I'll do the travel arrangements this time.
Okay, just call South for travel.
Of course.
When you try to make travel arrangements yourself.
that you can look up at the sky and see it might be there and it might fall out of orbit any time. Because America and the Soviet Union, they don't have the money. They have the money to fight a war, but they don't have the money to support the space program any longer. So the $56 billion that has been spent on the space station, maybe it's over with. When you see a nuclear plant or an orbiting space station, a super international airport, you have to be thoroughly impressed with the engineering dynamics that are involved. Yet, these are just things that are manufactured by human beings. Then what about the human body? With its massive and intricate control systems. Think about it. Think about the brain. How it thinks, how it functions, how it analyzes, how it stores information, retrieves information, distinguishes light and categorizes information in a millionth of a second. And how it does that constantly. Think about the brain for a moment. Think about those mobile phones for a moment. I would ask you to be courteous enough to cut your mobile phone off. Your wife, if she's not here, she won't mind. Your husband, if he's not here, he won't mind. Your office, they won't mind. So just cut it off or put it on another mode. That's courtesy. Now we're talking about the brain that made the automobile, the rocket ships, the boats, and so on. Think about the brain and who made that. Think about the heart, how it pumps throughout the body, throughout the life of the person. The heart pumps continuously. I mean, it starts at the inception when the child is inside the womb. The heart is already pumping. And from that time until death, this heart is pumping without the will of the person whose chest it is in. The heart taking in and discharging blood throughout the body and maintaining that steady precision throughout the life of that person. Think about it. Think about the kidneys. What kind of function do they carry? The purifying instrument of the body that performs hundreds of chemical analyses simultaneously and controls the level of toxicity in the body. And it does this automatically. Think about your eyes, the human camera that adjusts, focuses, interrupts, evaluates, applies color automatically, the natural reception and adjustment to light and distance, automatic. Think about it. Who created that? Who designed the eye? With all the technology, there's no replacement for the human eye. Even they have not been able to create a robot that is able to mimic the blink of the eye. If they made a robot to blink and imitate the blink of the human eye, it would throw the robot out of sync because he couldn't keep the synchronization going like the eye does. Just something simple like that. Who created that? Who mastered that? Who planned that? And who regulates that? Human beings themselves? What's your answer? Of course not. What about this universe? Think about this. The Earth is one planet in our solar system, and our solar system is one of the systems in the Milky Way. The example I gave you previously. Who created that? Who designed that? Who maintains that perpetually until it continues to expand? And according to one scientific theory, what is it? That the universe is expanding as we are living. And one day it will expand until it will implode. Implode means it will explode from the inside, not from the outside, but cave in. Now this is a theory. We don't know, but we do know it is expanding. Yet, for all intents and purposes, it's not affecting the organization that we see. Who designed that? Who controls that? Is it man himself? Of course not. Man just stumbled on the theory yesterday. Certainly there's a creator. And that creator deserves to be acknowledged. And that creator deserves to be obeyed. Because that creator has the only one has the right to legislate and to adjudicate and to be for humans who have the highest intellect to conform to. And definitely that creator has no associates and that creator has no comparisons. Did all of this synchronization, balance, harmony, variation, design, maintenance, operation, and infinite numeration, did this happen by chance, by random? And also do these things function perpetually and perfectly, also by chance? And do they keep on reproducing themselves and maintaining themselves also by chance? What do you think? Of course not. That would be totally illogical and foolish. And we're not illogical, and we're not foolish. But maybe we just didn't think about that. At least it would indicate that however that came to be, it is totally outside of the realm of human capability, and we would all agree to that. We should all be in consensus to that all of this is outside of the realm of human capability. The being, the almighty power, God, the creator of the universe, the source of energy, the source of power, the source of existence, call him, call it, call the creator what you will, but the principle is the same. It is beyond the capability of human beings themselves. We are subject. We are subordinate. We are not the principle ourselves. The creator of existence has the knowledge to design, to proportion, has created all of this and is responsible for maintaining all of this. That creator is the only one that is deserving of praise and gratitude. If I gave each one of you £100 or $100 for no reason, if before you left here, I said, everyone here, just for coming, there's $100 on your way out. Don't forget to pick up your $100, but just leave your name and say thank you to the person who gives you the $100. Would you leave your name? Would you say thank you? Of course you would. No one, you would stand in a queue to leave. So I ask you, what about your eyes? What about your kidneys? What about your brain? What about your life? What about your breath? What about your children? What about the life, the opportunities, the resources that you have been given? Are you grateful for that? Or do you say, I earned all of that? Is the one that gave you life not worthy of praise and thanks? Is the one that gave you life not worthy of your worship and recognition? My sisters and my brothers and my guests, that in a nutshell is the purpose and the goal of this life. One, to recognize and acknowledge the Creator. Secondly, to conform to the laws of that Creator. And thirdly, to give praise and gratitude and worship to that Creator. That's the initial purpose of our lives. Just as the initial responsibility of a child as they're growing up is to respect their parents. But before they can respect their parents, don't they need to know them? You know your parents. Therefore, you respect your parents because you know that you wouldn't be here if they were not your parents. Secondly, they nurtured you. They guided you. They helped you through school and all your problems. And even if you don't fully respect them or listen to them, you have to be psychologically dependent upon them and grateful to them, obligated and indebted to them. So what about the Creator, who made your parents and their 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 parents and the whole world? This whole cosmos that we are experiencing. Is that Creator not worthy of your recognition? Is that Creator not worthy of your respect? Is that Creator not worthy of your praise? Is that Creator not worthy of your worship? It is just as fundamental and even more fundamental than respecting or recognizing your parents. That's the initial, primary, foundation, purpose of our lives. To come to recognize, appreciate Almighty God, the Creator, by scientific means, by dialectical means, through mathematical means, through worship, through reflection, any way you are able to come to the grips and come to grips with the fact that you yourself are not your own benefactor, but that you are benefiting from something which was given that you didn't even ask for. I don't think that anyone who considers themselves clever or scientific or analytical would have much argument with this purpose. They may have their own set of rationales, their own justifications, their own ideas, their own theories, but it all boils down to the same thing. Because with all their ideas and all their theories, they seem to be headed in the same place. Because I don't see anybody that has escaped death except Walt Disney. At least they would have us to think that. Or Steven Spielberg, Hollywood or Charliewood or Bollywood. But the reality of life is that every day you wake up, you are closer to death. And that's what you need to think about. You're not closer to your objective. You're not closer to what you've been working for all your lives. You are closer to death because that is the ultimate place that all of us are heading. From the womb to the tomb. That's it. And Michael Jackson will have to make another Thriller.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a maintenance technician, and I'm going to give you a little taste of what I do today. My day starts by driving to the store that I'm going to be working in that day. Then I normally make my coffee, check my job list, and make a plan.
Another Thriller. Brothers and sisters, this is something that you and I need to deal with seriously. We need to reconcile this issue. We need to resolve this issue. Don't let death sneak up on you because babies die. Adolescents die. Young, vibrant, intelligent, beautiful, well-endowed individuals die. Arrogant people die. Even executioners die. And death is a doorway that if the creator of the heavens and the earth had no other power over his creatures who consider themselves to be powerful individuals, independent, if he had no other power with resources, governments or other than that, if there was something that they would do to buy themselves out of, it would be what? Death. But it's not negotiable. Dear brothers and sisters, let us all witness that there's nothing worthy of worship. That's what we should all bear witness. There's nothing in the heavens or the earth, no principle, no power, no sovereign, not a man, nor a group of men, not a society, nor a nation, nor a coalition of nations that have any power over life and death or creation except who? The Creator. Let us all bear witness that there's none to be worshipped except the Creator, none to be acknowledged except the Creator. Let us all bear witness to that. Let us all say that there's none to be worshipped, to be recognized except the Creator. Let's say that. Is there a problem? Is there a stutter? Is there a hesitation? If there's someone who thinks that they are self-created, if there's someone who thinks that they're outside of this cycle I just spoke of, stand up, because you're the one that should be talking here. Because you're going to announce to us a theory that none of us know about. If not, we should all bear witness, or at least if I called your name and that was your name, you would come up here and say, if I said to you, somebody handed me an envelope, and it said that someone by the name of David Matthews is the recipient of $2,000. We picked his name out of a hat, and he's recipient of $2,000. Come on down. If he was upstairs there, he might have fallen out the balcony trying to get down here. You see. So for your own motivation, you have no problem. But for the Creator, you got a problem. Muslims, say La ilaha illallah. That's all it means. It just means that there's none to be recognized. It means none to be worshipped. It means none to be conformed to or obeyed except the Creator. This is what Jesus said. This is what Moses said. This is what Abraham said. This is what David said. This is what Solomon said. Peace and blessing be upon all of them. This is what Isaac said. This is what Ismail said. This is what John the Baptist said. This is what Jesus Christ said. That's what the prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said. All the prophets, all those men that received revelation from God, they all said one thing. La ilaha illallah. A simple statement, they said. Dear friends, dear Muslims, let us now discuss the second half of our topic. What do you know about Islam?
One Islam Productions, an Islamic film studio established in Australia, is dedicated to producing films for all Muslims. Just some of the films by one Renewal of faith. Documentaries. Productions think that Islam is precious and deserves to be.
इसमें सेटिंग मिल जाएगी इसके ओरिजिनल कलर इसके कलर ओरिजिनल वो उधर एक्स्ट्रा शाइन करना इसके बिल्कुल कैमरा नहीं या सेटिंग मिल जाए या पोर्ट्रेट मिल जाए आईफोन आईफोन कौन सा है 14 है ना वो भी प्रो मैक्स दुनिया सारी यूज करती है यहाँ तक कि इसके ये बताया गया है कि मूवीज के कोई सीन जो कैमरे से नहीं ली गई ओरिजिनल कैमरे से आईफोन से लेके डाले और पता भी नहीं चला तो देखें एडिट
ऊपर क्या बना हुआ है वो ये सैमसंग के फोन में 60 फ्रेम्स पर सेकंड लिखा हुआ है स्क्रीन का साइज है
ये कवर चेंज करें ये कवर उतार के इसका मंगा देना दूसरा ही देखें जब इतनी लाइनिंग कहाँ से मैंने यार बोले ये जो है ना ये कवर उधर कितना डार्क है और इधर से से आप दोनों की है सिर्फ इधर से हाँ मतलब वाइट है देखिए यहाँ से कितना अच्छा कलर देखो पीछे देखे डार्क है दीवारें यहाँ से और इसमें इसको तो आज ही देख रहे अगर मूवी बनानी है ये मंगवा लेता है लोग ताकि स्क्रीन ना खराब और पता है कैसे मंगाए ये वाला एकदम हो गया अच्छी क्वालिटी का ताकि इसके ऊपर तक आए वैसे ये लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है हमें आपकी मर्जी ऐसे फर्क पड़ता है ये आप संभाल ये हमारे यहाँ कहते हैं संभाला और
ये अल्ट्रा HD में हाथ से अपने हिसाब से एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं कम उसका डिफरेंट इनका डिफरेंट है कैमरा में जाएं तो उसका सेटिंग वाला कोई बटन होगा मुझे ये देखें कोई रेजोल्यूशन के नाम से कुछ हो नहीं ऊपर नीचे वो देखना अल्ट्रा HD आप अपने मर्जी से फुल में करना है या सबसे हाई में कर सकते हैं लेकिन इसमें फ्रेम्स को कम आता है 8K में है ना 8K में लेकिन इसमें स्पेस एकदम से बढ़ जाती है रेजोल्यूशन वो हैवी
पर बहुत अच्छी पिक्चर है ये बिल्कुल इसकी ओरिजिनल पिक्चर है मैं बताता हूँ इसमें इसमें क्या जैसे फर्स्ट किया लिपस्टिक किया तो मेकअप किया हल्का सा इसमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा रेड बताइए उसमें ओरिजिनल जो लगा है वही बताए वो जो सस्ते कैमरे हैं उनमें ओरिजिनल नहीं आता उनमें थोड़ा सा आएगा हल्का हल्का रेड या डिफरेंट तरह का रेड आईफोन की क्वालिटी यही है फेमस है दुनिया में कि हर चीज़ ओरिजिनल बताता इसलिए यही सुना था कि आईफोन से जब भी मूवी बनाए इसके लिए लाइट हो और पीछे सेटिंग अच्छी हो और हम लोग वो भी चेक करें पिक्सल्स चेक करें आपकी वाइफ से सेपरेट आपका सेपरेट है क्या करते हैं वो लोग अपने पुनः पर्दे लगा देते हैं निगाह की तरफ खाती है आपके भी अंडा खाती है हाँ को गुस्सा तो नहीं चला आपके सामने कुकिंग में खा सकती है हम ना नहीं करेंगे लोगों को सोफिया आती थी सोफिया सबके सामने मुझे कहती थी अपना खा के नाना मैं ये खा सकता हूँ मुझे कहता था मैंने तो अपना खा लिया मेरा लगता है अब सोफिया तो 10 घंटे ले दे और मुझे अच्छा लगा क्योंकि यहाँ पे नहीं बिकेगी, पाकिस्तान में बिकेगी, यहाँ नहीं लेते, यहाँ फ्री में लेते डोनेशन। कौन दे सकता है अपना देना में किडनी बेच कार्ड पे आज उम्र नहीं हो सकता कभी, क्योंकि इस पे इंटरेस्ट सूद रिकॉर्ड है ना 2%, 5%, 10%। कोई भी लोन, कोई भी कंपनी क्रेडिट कार्ड आपको लेने की होगी, वो जब लेगी तो कुछ परसेंट लेगी, वो जो परसेंट ज़्यादा पैसे होते हैं ना वो सूद होता है। आप लोगों को शायद मिल जाएगा, मुझे पर इस पर आपका हाथ उम्र नहीं होगा, उल्टा गुनहगार होगा। उल्टा आप सेफ बोलोगे, आप वो अमल करें जिसका आपका हज और उम्रे का स्वाब है। आपको टाइम मिले माँ की टांगे दुबारा। आपको पता है 3 दफा अपनी अम्मी को प्यार से देखे, ये हदीस है कि आपको हज का या उम्रे का स्वाब है। और ये नाम इसको मामूली समझते हैं, ये हकीकत बात है। कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो अपनी अम्मी को फोन करें, उनसे दुआ करें। ये नहीं होता कि वो मेरी अगर ये देखूँ ये नमाज नहीं पढ़ते तो दुआ नहीं, वो पढ़े ना पढ़े, अल्लाह ने माँ का रिश्ता बनाई है सलीम बाप का। उन दोनों में से कोई भी नाराज हो जाए तो आपकी लाइफ मुश्किल हो जाएगी, ये हकीकत बात है। ये मैं सच बता रहा था, ये सबके माँ बाप का बता रहा हूँ। ये आप लोगों को अपनी लाइफ ईजी करनी है, आसान करनी है, तो आपके माँ बाप आपसे माँ बाप क्या करते नहीं करते वो अलग है। वो जो सिला है वो अल्लाह ताला दे, अल्लाह आपसे आप वो चीज़ करें जो मतलब माँ बाप कहते हैं चोरी करो ये करो, उसका भी उनसे अच्छे से कि भाई मैं काफिर नहीं हो सकता या मैं चोरी नहीं कर सकता, ये ऐसे ना ज़रूर करें, गलत बात है नहीं हो करेंगे, पर माँ बाप को कुछ पोर्ट्रेट में जाए ना, अगर पिक्चर ले तो उससे बेहतर है। ये तो दुनिया में सबसे मशहूर मोबाइल ही यही है, आईफोन। अब ये सैमसंग की है ना, इसकी ऐसी क्वालिटी है, प्लास्टिक ऐसी है कि आईफोन की क्वालिटी पकड़ेंगे ना, हाथ में लगाएंगे ना, तो इसकी मटेरियल कितना बेहतरीन किस्म का इसका मटेरियल है, ग्लास है।
आप लोगों के आईफोन के वीडियो से कंपेयर करेंगे, क्योंकि अक्सर ट्रैवलर तो आईफोन्स नहीं यूज करते, वो गोप्रो कैमरा गोप्रो
पता है
एक्शन कैम उसको करता है।
आप देखा करें कई लोग मूवी बनाते हैं ना, कई लोग शीशे के सामने से गुजरते, आपको उधर से नजर आ जाएगा, या कोई ऐसे ग्लास के सामने से, या उनके साया होता है, उससे भी पता चल जाएगा तो वो वायर है या क्या है। कहा इससे अच्छी जितनी वीडियो बनती है क्या बात है। ये मीनिंग
And they, the human beings, the prophets of Almighty God, they were not told to do anything except to worship, to recognize, to obey their Lord, and to be faultless. Faultless means to be sincere towards God, to be clean, to be moral. legislation that he ordered them. What legislation did God order them? Every prophet that came to every people, he came with a book. He came with a message. He came with a behavior. He came pleading with the people, telling them, do not worship idols. Do not worship other deities. Do not be pagan. Don't associate partners with God. Do not disobey your creator. Do not ignore your creator. Be decent. Be upright. Be moral. Be kind. Be gentle. Being straight with God, not allowing any interference between you and God, no partner, no associate, holding your relationship with God sacred. Therefore, God is ordered to you, so that is order before every other order. And to establish prayer, because after all, what can we do for God? What can we do for the one that created us? What can we do? If your mother and father gave birth to you, all what your mother did for you while you were young, staying up at night while she suffered with you through school, through college, and after you finish, they become old inside of a old age home, a retirement home. Shame on you. What can you do for your parents after they go back to you? What can you do for them? Nothing.
आपका भी शुक्रिया आपने खाने की कोशिश की
Nothing except worship Him, to acknowledge Him, to conform to His law. Our people to establish the prayer in your life and to be charitable. For you to zakat. And God said, being decent to your brother, being decent to your brother, or that is this is the right way.
ये बंद हो गया इसका ऑटोमेटिक छोड़ गया था इसके लिए थोड़ी सी शॉर्ट सा क्लिप बना बस अब उसको सेट में इसको करेंगे ना फिर शुरू करेंगे ये कुछ करना है उसको नहीं करना लेकिन ये चाहिए होगा ये सुनिए मजे की है ना बहुत ये दूसरे सुनिए कहीं सुबह पूछे तो मैं कहता हूँ ये ले
चाहत
चीनी डाल देंगे, बटर डाल देंगे, चीनी बटर करेंगे और यूज़ करेंगे। ये नेचर में आती नहीं है ना, नेचर में एक पूरा नेचर में बहुत अच्छी वो अंसर बहुत कुछ करना होता है पकड़ो देखने से बड़ा बस पकड़ने में ये कट कट के डालो, लेकिन अभी पानी गया है इसका डाल काट के रखिए तो मन डाल कलर बहुत प्यारा है।
कौन सा साइज है? बायोमेट्रिक
बना बना और उसको भी इससे डाउनलोड करके लेकिन उसके लिए फोकस करने में
But just as she laughed, she found something more. And yes, it was a child that was born. That was John the Baptist, the cousin of Jesus Christ. Because Zachariah was the cousin of Hannah. And Hannah was the woman that prayed to God for a son that she could give to the priest so that he could become a priest. That she prayed to God, and God told her through the angel Gabriel again that she would have a son. No, that she would have a child. That she had that child. And when the child was a girl, she said, oh God, girl, I have given birth, but it's a woman, it's a girl. The angel said to her, so be it. This girl will be the chief of the women in the hereafter. And that's what Mary is. But when Mary was born, she was under the care of Zachariah, who was the chief priest of the temple. And Mary was put into a place where her own authority. So when Zachariah, who was the only one that she should check on her, he found her when he had to check on her, she had food. He used to ask her prayer. Why did you just cook some? Why? I'll tell you what to do. In the winter, she had food. She had fruit from the summer. And in the summer, she had fruit from the winter. Because she was elected by God. The prayer of Hannah, God answered a prayer by giving Hannah a girl to give birth to the son that Hannah had. And while she was in that room, the angel Gabriel again picked her up and said, oh Mary, God announces to you a child that you will have a son, and the son whose name will be Esau. Esau. Jesus in the Spanish language, or Jesus in the English language, but in Arabic, Esau. As Messiah. As Messiah means the anointed, the appointed, the Messiah, or the Christ. And now, since the angel was thinking that this man is to fear Allah, don't come near me. Like in the first women, like your decent women, and a man of fear, and no bedroom. He said, get out of here. And everybody said, if you fear God, you have to open your God or something. Mary said, I don't know I have a son, but I've never been touched by any man, and I'm not a woman that walks the streets. What did she say? She's not a harlot. She was untouched. She's a virgin. She was a good man. I don't know if she's going to be when God called her to do it, he said to her, and just when the angel said that to her, Mary found herself just like the wife of Zachariah, pregnant, conceived. And to make a long story short, when Jesus was born, Mary was ashamed. Because the people were already saying, she's a harlot, she's a this, she's a that, look, she's pregnant. She had to go out, something had to happen. How did she get pregnant? She asked God, what should I say? God told her, don't say anything. Point to the child. The child will speak for himself and create unity of everything they said in Jesus' name. That was his first miracle. Yes, Jesus was born without a father. That's the first phenomenon. Secondly, Jesus was correct. It's clear that God was the first miracle. Jesus
मैसेज करना
life never met him. The other thing is, all of the things you have written, the gospel according to. Now, when you write a letter, you sign it according to. According to is the third party. If Joanne or Jackie or Bobby or Johnny told me something and I thought it was going to say according to Joanne, Jackie, Bobby or Ronnie, according to. But those four people would not write a letter. And the letter said, Jackie, according to Jackie. Jackie wrote me a check and it said Jackie after Jackie. And if I was a policeman and I stopped Jackie on the road and she had a license according to Jackie, she would be dead.
सेंड करूँगी ना अभी तो क्या बोलते हैं पहले आप इस तरह से शॉर्ट्स बनाइए ना फिर ऑन करते हैं ये मैंने स्टॉप कर लिया आपके लिए किया ये ले
Like any
नहीं भाई मुझे स्वाद और सब कुछ
कैसे बन सकता है ये फ्लावर तो नहीं इसमें आइसक्रीम मुझे काम सकता है लेकिन फिर कोई नहीं सकती
मुझे नहीं पता मुझे सब चीज़ों को लेकर बहुत डाउट होता है जो भी डालना हो डाल दो किशमिश अच्छी रही है बहुत पहले जो पाउडर है डाल दी थी और बादाम ग्राइंड जो करते हैं ना उसमें फिल्टर डालते हैं उसमें नहीं होता है जो घर में अगर आप अपने कश्मीर में खाएंगे तो वो डार्क हो जाएगा खाने पानी में डार्क हो जाएगा ये इसमें कलर करते हैं अच्छा कलर अच्छा लगे जो दिखेंगे आपको लगता होगा ना एक्स्ट्रा स्वीट स्वीट मीठा है अच्छा खासा स्वीट लग रहा है
इसमें आप भी काम कर ले अभी
करे आप बनाए नहीं कोई वो नहीं अच्छा काम
अभी सब एक से टिकटॉक का है मुझे नजर ही नहीं आती कुछ कलर चेंज है ना जैसे ये रेड हो गए हमारे ब्लैक होते अब आखिरी तकरीबन चीनी शीनी डाल दिया और अब इसको हिलाते जाएंगे इसका मतलब ये है ना मुझे लग रहा है कि यहाँ तक आपकी शायद लाइव आज ये पूरी होगी तो आप 30 इतना टाइम
कब से यही होगा
मतलब आपको इतना टाइम देना होगा इवेंट्स भी काफ़ी रहती हैं
लेकिन ना आपको जब चाहिए हो इस सबसे जो होते चाहिए इसमें से जितनी भी
तो आप इसको नहीं अपडेट करके क्यों लाइव कैसे करेंगे कर ले सच में भी नहीं
अभी आप फाइनल से करेंगे
देखो इसको थोड़ा कम कर ली उससे कपड़े से तो फ्रिज में मैंने एक कटा हुआ देखा था देखती हूँ है या नहीं
आप जा सकते हैं तो सिर्फ मैं नहीं जा सकती हो सकती किसी से पाकिस्तान ट्रांसपोर्ट लगाएंगे
जो होगा
ऐसे भी बन जाता है पता नहीं चलता अच्छा बेटा
कभी भी मैं कभी भरोसा नहीं करना चाहिए
अभी इसमें कल है लाइव है
अभी
सच्ची
इसको पकाते हैं
पीछे करिए पीछे गरम है ना या ऊपर जी ऊपर थोड़ा सा इसको ऊपर मसाला पहली दफ़ा गई थी ना तो मैंने सर्दियाँ आई थी तो इस कलर का स्वेटर लिया।
फोन लेते थे मैं सिर्फ गाजर की लेती थी वो आके लखनऊ में बनाते थे सेम जो
अक्सर ऐसा वाला बनाते थे और अक्सर
पूरा मतलब डाल दिया तो जब मतलब हल्के से भी तैयारी जब हमारी हल्के हो तो रखो लेकिन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वैसे पूरा डाल देते थे आपको तो हम इलेक्ट्रिक पर जगह में सब बैठते थे कोई कुछ कैसे भी ऐसा वाला बनता है क्या कर एकदम से
इसीलिए मैं ऐसे थोड़ा डालती वो है हर फोन में डिफरेंट पकड़े कहाँ मिक्सी होती है अच्छा वो ये नहीं स्कूटी नहीं इसको नीचे करेंगे तो मिल जाएगा जाएगा अब इसका जरूर नहीं टूटेगा तुम बेटा जी जाओ ना है ना इसमें ज़्यादा आ गई है इसमें ज़्यादा आ गई है वैसे ही थे जैसे पहले थे ये देखिए छुए इसी में रखेंगे किसी और में निकालेंगे
मुझे सही नहीं आता चलती हूँ आपको देखते हैं मेरे नहीं तो शेड्यूल थोड़ा सा कोई नहीं कोई मसला नहीं उसमें डालना बाद में